and welcome to the My Local Radio Sports Network student section. I'm Aaron Poling, joined by Elan Olive and Anthony Colasuno. Of course, all of this today is brought to you by our great sponsors, Jake Major with the Bullock Agency of Wyoming, as well as Bear Lake Memorial Hospital, the most caring hospital on earth. So we want to thank them. Without them, none of this is possible. But we got a great show on tap for you today, as we're actually going to start it off in the Valley. Anthony, why don't you go ahead and talk about what we're going to start with here?
Yeah, so we're going to start off with Kenna Wyatt, a interview I had with her. She is part of the Lyman drill team. This is the first year they've had a drill team at Lyman, and it's catching a lot of popularity quickly. They're moving and grooving out there during halftime shows of the basketball game. And then our second interview we'll have will be with Jay Kaiser of Mountain View High School. We'll hear the first interview right now. I'm here with Lyman drill dancer Kenna Wyatt. Kenna, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. We're going to hit off the interview here. What has been your favorite routine this year on the drill team?
Probably any hip-hop dance that we do, because I like hip-hop, and it's just fun. It's just kind of one of those dances where you feel like gangster, and you just listen to your body and just roll with it. It's fun.
Right on. Little side question. Do you have any favorite hip-hop song you like to listen to?
I don't know. I like rap music, so anything rap.
Right on. So for anyone looking to join the drill team next year, who do they talk to sign up to join drill?
So Becky Bradshaw is in charge of drill, but I think sometime in April we're having drill tryouts, so just come and we'll teach you the basics and just come with confidence and just have fun.
Right on. What has been your favorite moment from drill this year and all the competitions you've been to?
Probably just since it's so brand new, just bonding with the team and just making fun memories, and it's our first year, so we were just kind of winging it, I guess, but we had so much fun. It was just awesome.
Right on. We're going to switch to some little get to know your questions now. What is your favorite subject in school?
Probably English. I like to read.
Do you have a favorite book that you like to read?
I really like the Maze Runner series and the Hunger Games.
Hunger Games is good. I've read it before. Next question. What is your favorite dessert?
Ooh, like a good raspberry cheesecake. Not a chocolate person.
Not a chocolate person? All right, but I like raspberry too. Last question, Kenna. What is your favorite movie or TV show?
I really like Stranger Things. And my favorite movie? Anything Marvel related, like Spider-Man, Iron Man, anything like that.
Who is your favorite character from Stranger Things and from the Marvel universe?
I like Eddie and Steve, my favorite dynamic duo, and my favorite character from the Marvel universe is either Black Panther, because Wakanda's pretty dope, or Spider-Man, because he's cool too.
Right on. That's all the questions I have, Kenna. Thank you so much for your time.
All right, thank you.
That was a cool little interview we had with Kenna Wyatt of the Lyman drill team, and also we welcome everyone into the Union Broadcast studio. And now we'll pick it into our second interview with Jay Kaiser of Mountain View High School.
Before we do that, why don't you kind of understand there's a really cool story behind it. So let's go ahead and kind of recap that before we do that.
Yeah, so the high school partners up with Make-A-Wish Wyoming every single year, and Jay is also, being a guard on the basketball team, is also part of student council. So they're trying to come up with an idea, and Jay said, if we raise enough money, let's cut my hair.
And we're talking this guy has long, curly,
blonde hair.
Back.
Yes.
Well, it wouldn't be much fun if it was your length of hair.
I know, I was about to say, when he says cut it, are we talking your length, my length? For those that don't know, I've got zero hair, and Aaron and Anthony are a little bit more normal.
Yeah.
I'm the freak, I guess.
Yeah, normal's not the word I would use to describe us, but
Yeah.
But so Jay's hair, it went almost all the way down to his back and waist. When he was on the basketball floor, it was just flowing in the air.
Kind of had the old school Joakim Noah look going on.
Yes. Yeah, had the Joakim Noah look going on.
Bulls reference for the Chicago guy.
Yeah.
Hey, you got to play to your audience.
The audience of one.
Audience of one.
Sorry,
here.
we'll stop interrupting you.
So Jay says, hey, let's make a fundraiser and cut my hair. And the goal was to raise over $1,000. Well, they did over $2,000.
Oh.
Totally shattered the ceiling with that goal. And after the win versus Thermopolis, most of all the Mountain View crowd stayed. And they set a cloth down at half court, a barber's chair and everything. And they had a stylist come in and chop off some of the hair. And then Jay was going to go to the actual barber and get a haircut, official haircut. And well, they were just tying it up, just like they're trying to kind of dread style a little bit just to cut it, and literally just these long strands of hair. I think one measured out to 6 inches. I think this kid had a long hair, but now Jay has a very cool haircut. It's about mid-length. It's a good style for him. We'll go to that interview right now. I'm here with Buffalo's guard, Jay Kaiser. Jay, how are you doing today?
I'm good.
All right. And we'll do a good little feel-good story. So a couple weeks back, I heard that the school partnered with Make-A-Wish Wyoming, and you did as well. And if they raised over $1,000, you would cut your hair. They raised over $2,000. What is the backstory behind the fundraiser?
Well, I'm in student council, and one of our initiatives for student council is we have to do a Make-A-Wish fundraiser. And it doesn't matter how much we made, but I thought it'd be a good idea to cut my hair because I know a lot of people didn't like my hair. So I thought they'd donate if I could cut it. So I just thought it'd be a good idea.
Right on. And of course, they raised over $2,000. What was the reaction when you're sitting in that chair after the Thermopolis game, getting your long haircut?
It was a little bit awkward. There was a lot of people there watching me, and I didn't really know where to look. I just was sitting there just getting my hair braided and then cut. It was kind of awkward, honestly.
So now with the shorter hair, do you like the shorter hair now? Did you like your long hair?
I don't really care. Sometimes I forget I have short hair now. And in basketball, I don't really tell a difference. It feels the same to me.
Of course, with the donations, where do those donations go to?
It's for kids or anyone really that needs, it's just Make-A-Wish. So it's anyone that needs it. The money will go to them for something fun to do.
Right on. And now some get-to-know-you questions. What is your favorite home-cooked meal?
Southwest egg rolls.
What are in Southwest egg rolls?
Rice, black beans, cheese. Don't really know, but they're good.
They're good. All right. Next question. Who is your favorite music artist?
Boy with Uke.
Right on. Any favorite song from Boy with Uke?
Understand by Boy with Uke. That's a good one.
Oh, right on. Last question. What is your favorite class?
Probably history.
Right on. That's all the questions I have. Thank you so much for your time, Jay.
Thank you.
Now, Anthony, the real question.
Yeah.
Does he look faster out on the court?
He looks a little bit more aerodynamic.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I think it's a little bit more aerodynamic for sure. But I do miss out long hair. I was down the valley. I think it was the first game after he cut it, and I'm watching the boys JV game that was in the main gym. And he's a sophomore, so he's on varsity and the JV roster. And I see number 15 out there, and I'm like, did they give up someone's number? Did they give Jay's number to someone else? All of a sudden, I turn around, and I see his face. And I'm like, oh, my gosh. That's Jay, So they, when they did the little haircut ceremony, they cut a little bit off, and he got a little bit more cut off afterwards. But it's it's a little weird now because the player intro video that I have for the games, he has the long blonde hair, and now when I say number 15, it's this short hair. It looks really good on him though. Either short hair or long hair, it looks really, really good on him, and it's just also for a great cause. Some of that hair will go to kids with hair loss so they can have wigs, but also at the same point in time, the money they raise goes straight to Make-A-Wish. So it helps out kids in need, medical bills if they want to go on a Make-A-Wish trip. And
I was
all
about to say those. I worked at National Ability Center in Park City, and that's kind of like one of the Make-A-Wish spots because it enables kids with all sorts of physical ailments to kind of go skiing and go rip up the mountain and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we got some Make-A-Wish kids because like, hey, I want to go. That's my wish is I want to go skiing.
Yeah.
And it's not a cheap endeavor. I mean, you hear about the Disneyland trips, you hear about things like that. So none of that is possible without like the money and without the donations that people like Jay are able to raise. All right. We got to address the elephant in the room.
Yes.
Southwest egg rolls.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of him either.
I'm open to it. I'm open. He described it, and I'm open to it.
Well, he described part of it.
He honestly
There's a lot of
described-
ingredients
the first thought
in
I
it.
had was like, is this like a taquito a little bit? Like that's the first thought that I had when he said that. So
I think it might be, but when he was trying to describe the ingredients, I could tell there was more to it.
Oh,
Because he
absolutely.
was trying to list them all off, and so I think it's a mixture. You have rice, the beans, the
the
cheese,
cheese.
probably some sausage in
Probably
it,
rolled up in,
or
like, a tortilla or something
yeah,
like that.
yeah, maybe deep fried, something like that.
I'm open. So we gotta track those down.
You put
Yeah.
you put the word deep fried into anything, I'll try it. Deep
Yes.
fried food is always amazing.
Okay.
The other
Always
thing,
the best.
He said boy with uke, and we all kind of looked at each other
Uh-huh.
and like, who's that? I looked it up a little bit. Like, listen to like 15 seconds. All right, I could
get behind it?
I could get behind it.
Right
I could
on.
get behind it. It's literally exactly what it sounds like. It's a guy with a ukulele singing.
Right on.
So pretty chill stuff. So I can get behind that for sure.
All right. Maybe I need to give a listen to it as well.
Maybe we'll listen to it
Yeah.
on the way to lunch later on today.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what this kind of feels like? It kind of feels like this "Hello, fellow kids" meme, where like they say something that's like kind of probably a little too young for all of us, and we're all trying to figure it out. And you ever seen like the kid with the skateboard that shows up to a high school that's clearly a 50-year-old man, and he just goes, "Hello,
We're
fellow
feel
kids."
like- we're
That's
trying
kind
to
of what we
figure out
feel like
what's
right
going-
now.
I'm trying to figure out what these kids are talking about. But, yeah, no, I think it's really, really great. I mean, we get off topic a little bit, but I think it's really, really great what he did. I mean, again, those Make-A-Wish trips are not cheap, and
Yeah.
they are not possible without donations. And to see and having seen firsthand like how much joy those kids and the families take. I mean, I remember there's one where the kid's wish was a 3-day trip to Park City so he could go ski. He'd never been skiing before. Because of the illness, he couldn't walk, and we put him in a sled. And when you have a sled, you can either train them to kind of ski it themselves, just kind of like with outriggers and stuff like that, or you can do what's called bucketing, where you have a very skilled skier get on the handles of the sled and literally just kind of like take them around the mountain. And it's and that's what they ended up opting to do. And this kid had like the time of his life for like 3 days, and you could tell it was it's. When people get to that point that they're doing Make-A-Wish trips, it's very much needed to kind of keep their morale, and it's a nice kind of like relief from what I would imagine would be the constant stressors of having to battle an illness like that.
Yeah.
And you know, we try to highlight some of the personalities of these kids, and this kind of shows you just how great of human beings that we do have in this area. Not only do we have good athletes, we have really good human beings. And,
Yeah.
you know, 90% of coaching is you're going to take these kids, you're going to mold them into the future. Some of these kids will go to college. Some of them might go pro in the sports they will. But, you know, a lot of coaching is, hey, I have to mold these kids for the future and set them up for success. And you can tell right there that the Mountain View Buffaloes program, they're setting some kids up for success.
Absolutely.
Also, it's the coaches, but also the student council advisors. It's the band, the advisors, it's teachers that are helping mold these kids. And the student council advisor at Mountain View was like, "Jay, that's an amazing idea. Like, do you want to go through this?" And he's like, "Absolutely." And she was like, "All right, I will help get all this set up."
We also have to give credit to the parents
Yes.
of these kids in Mountain View and Rich and Evanston. I mean, this isn't the only story. If we had this show last year, you bet we would be talking about how much money they raised for Kevin Callis here in Evanston, how much money they raised for Kendall Cummings 2 years ago here in Evanston after his bear attack type thing. I mean, this is not a one-off story, and this is not the only time we're going to be talking about an amazing accomplishment, an amazing humanitarian accomplishment done by kids and by people in this area.
And this is just Uinta County helping Uinta County, and some of this Make-A-Wish money may go to a kid across the state, or maybe a different state says, "Hey, we need an extra $100 to send this kid to Disneyland. Could you help us out?" And Make-A-Wish Wyoming would be like, Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, what matters is that this money that was raised is going to be used for that.
Yes.
It is going to make an impact. It is going to give a family out there some much needed relief. Mm-hmm. We got to wrap things up for this first segment. So we're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we've got some fun news that has been shared with us about what we can expect from the spring musicals at Evanston and Rich. You don't want to go away. You're tuned in to the mylocalradio.com student section right here on mylocalradio.com. Brought to you by Jake Major with the Bullock Agency of Wyoming and Bear Lake Memorial Hospital.
I'm here with...
When you have an emergency, choose Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Open 24/7, the professional emergency room staff is trained for trauma, medical, cardiac, pediatric, orthopedic, and obstetric emergencies. Bear Lake Memorial is a critical access level 3 trauma center, offering immediate access to radiology, lab services, surgery, and internal medicine consults. The ER teams are well-trained professionals who are ready to act. When you have an emergency, Bear Lake Memorial Hospital, the most caring hospital on earth.
Out here, we've always worked remote. Out here, stress usually refers to the pull on a rope. Where a stroll in the city is also a stroll in the great outdoors. Where work is a way of life, and life is good. Out here, the backyards are big, and the deals, they're even bigger. This is southwestern Wyoming, and it's where you can get the biggest deals on a vehicle you want with plenty of hometown hospitality. Heritage Auto, your hometown dealer with the biggest deals.
Whether it's for your home, your ranch, your equipment, or your business, when you need propane, count on the best. T7 Propane in Woodruff. The safe and professional team at T7 Propane offers quality product and the most responsive propane service in the area, so you can enjoy the affordability, reliability, and efficiency of propane. For heating, cooking, grilling, motor fuel, and more, count on the team at T7 for your personal or business propane needs. 435-793-4208.
At Reese Auto Service in Lyman, you will find highly skilled mechanics who will get the job done right the first time. They work on anything from light line jobs of tire alignments, suspension work, and oil changes to heavy line jobs of engine replacement, differentials, and all powertrain components. Make sure all your recreational vehicles are working at top speed by getting them checked at Reese Auto Service in Lyman so your time having fun doesn't end early. Reese Auto Service, 541 State Highway 413, Lyman.
It's the student section here on mylocalradio.com. Also, apologies about that. We had a temporary technical difficulty. Anyway, it's the student section on mylocalradio.com, presented by Jake Major with the Bullock Agency of Wyoming and Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Elan Olive, Anthony Colasuno, and Aaron Poling. And big thank you to our presenting sponsor for all the Evanston and Bridger Valley games. Of course, that's First Bank of Wyoming. And for Les Schwab Plains Tire for sponsoring our broadcast studio today. Well, we have some exciting news about the upcoming spring musical for both the Evanston Drama Devils and the Rich Drama Program. And that is, of course, that we know what the musicals are going to be. So, for the Evanston Drama Devils, it is through Miss Erin Russell that we found this out, that the musical is going to be Footloose. It'll be shown March 21st, 22nd, 23rd at 7 p.m. with a matinee at 2 o'clock on the 23rd. Of course, Evanston had roaring success with the showing of Frozen, the first school in Wyoming ever to do that one. So that is actually a really, really great that they are still keeping this going, and they're going to be doing a fun show, Footloose.
Oh, I'm excited to hear that. I mean, just an absolute classic. And, everyone, I don't want to say everyone knows Footloose, but, you hear the couple of tunes, then you got to get Footloose. And I'm excited for them because I think it's going to be a great production. I I'm starting to really fall in love with theater. I never did it growing up, but watching kids go out there and just perform and just seeing the pure joy and the passion and just watching these kids go out there and put their heart and soul into it is something that I truly love to watch. And Footloose is going to be a great one for Evanston.
So Mindy she went to Dixie State, now Utah Tech, for theater. Like, she was a musical theater student. So my wife, Mindy. So ever since kind of getting with her, I've kind of grown more and more of an appreciation for it. And like you, I enjoy going to the shows now. Like, it's a lot of fun. And I'm really, really excited for this one. I mean, of course, Evanston, a multiple-time state drama champions. It's going to be just a blast to kind of see their take on that.
It's going to be really fun. And Aaron spoke on the joy and passion of the kids. And this joy and passion goes, 3 months before when they have tryouts. And then it's, all right, here are the scripts. What scenes do we want to do? Because also these drama kids are also helping out building up props as well. And it's a full-on effort within the department and also the school as well. And it's going to be really fun. When you hear Footloose for a production, it's always going to be a good one.
Absolutely. So it'll be Evanston Drama Devils presenting Footloose as their spring musical. It's going to be March 21st, 22nd, and 23rd at 7 p.m. at the high school auditorium, and a matinee on March 23rd. As we get closer to that, we will definitely have Miss Erin Russell and the cast of Footloose on the student section as we approach closer to that, but that's the announcement. And I understand we have an announcement from Rich County as well.
That we do, straight from director Chris Woods, the head of the drama band and most of the theatrical programs over at Rich High School. The Rebels will be doing Mamma Mia as their musical this year. And it's a little bit interesting for the Rebels just because of the numbers. They don't all have one spot one role they play. I was talking to a couple of the students, and maybe not this year in Mamma Mia, but last year there were multiple students that played different roles, usually one of the ensemble parts, and then they'd usually get a main part as well on different nights. So the Rebels will have, I don't know exactly how they call it, but for simplicity's sake, I'm going to call it Cast A and Cast B. Cast A will play the Thursday, Saturday, and then Cast B will play the Friday, Sunday. So that way everyone gets a chance to do different things, different roles, and get a chance to fall in love with theater the way that, a lot of people have over the years.
This is a big undertaking, and I think there's going to be a lot of people in Rich that are interested in it. I mean, I just looked it up because you said Mamma Mia, and it's like, okay, even just the most casual person on earth knows what has heard that musical. And I just was curious, and I looked it up. It is the 7th highest grossing musical theater production ever. It has grossed $624,391,693 in the U.S. alone, with over 5,758 performances over 14 years that it was on Broadway.
Yeah, and I don't know, I was walking through the hallways on Saturday. They were getting ready for senior night stuff for basketball, and a couple of the musical members were in there practicing, and you hear the tune, and then you hear Mamma Mia, and like in my head I can't help but go, here I go again. And it just kind of just pops into my head, and it's like, well, that's definitely a good one. If myself, I would say that I'm probably the casualist of casuals when it comes to musicals, but like if that one pops into my head, then you've got one that's probably going to be memorable.
Me and my wife, we saw that one over in St. George at Tuacahn, the outdoor amphitheater. And I'm just kind of going in like, I don't know if this is going to be a show I'm interested. I like the shows that have like kind of dark stories. I've found out, for musicals. And then we went to that one, and that one was just funny. It was fun. It was funny. It was lighthearted. I think it's going to be a great thing to celebrate the spring in Rich County. So I'm really excited for those kids because also it just seems like, for a musical theater kid, that's the type of show you want to be in. Something fun, something lighthearted, something kind of iconic in that industry.
That's why I would speak on that. Funny and lighthearted plays are always awesome. And these high schoolers get to put their twist on it a little bit, maybe a little more comedy in a certain part of the production. And it just makes for a feel-good performance and a feel-good evening that they could go back the next day and be like, let's add this into it last second. Let's add a little more comedy and just, have a good time with it.
Well, and the crazy thing, especially with Rich, is that you're in Evanston. There's a separation. You have kids that it's a big enough student population where, yeah, you have some crossover between sports and drama and performance and stuff like that. But in Rich, you don't have that. You're going to get the same kids that you've been talking about on the basketball floor, on the volleyball court, on the football field in this show.
Yeah, Taylor Walker went from the basketball luncheon for the seniors right to the stage. I happened to walk by him, and he had the microphone taped to his face, and Taylor Walker is a big part of it. But, I mean, like you said, most people that go to Rich High School participate in multiple things, and the musical is one to see that I like, or one that I like to see. It's kind of cool because it's a whole different side of the kids that I don't usually get to see. It's not on basketball. This isn't High School Musical where Zac Efron's not going to break out into a musical number after scoring a layup, but you get to see these kids perform and dance and show what they have, and it's a lot of fun. I really personally enjoy it.
So I'm guessing you're going to be there opening night.
I'll be there all night. So last year I actually helped out. I actually got a couple of funny stories from last year, mostly because this is Lex Cornea's kid. I feel real comfortable talking about this story because if you know Lex and you know his daughter Tess, they're pretty similar. And Tess was she was one of the sisters in Hammerstein's version of The Beauty and the Beast. Cinderella, excuse me. And she was waiting to go down to the stage, and she was starting to get nervous. Well, the first night she was sitting over by the corner where I was set up with a camera, because basically to help out, all I do is run a camera backstage so they can see where they're at in the play. And she starts fanning me. She was like fanning herself, looks at me, and just starts fanning me. And I don't know why she's doing it. I just can't stop laughing, and hopefully it helped her out. And then the other funny story with Tess is she ate some cake during one of the performances when she was just kind of on the side spot, and then didn't realize that if she did that once, she's going to have to do it again. And I think for like 6 minutes while they're doing a song, Tess is over in the corner eating this cake, trying to figure out how to make this one piece last so she doesn't have to eat, 3 full pieces of cake before going back and singing and dancing. And that's just some of the fun things from these performances that you get to learn, the background information on. These kids are so willing to talk about. And, that's what really makes all this fun. It's just the personality that each kid brings to their own role.
Mm-hmm. And then I'm sure we'll hear about the Bridger Valley and what they've got planned in the coming weeks. But we do know what Evanston and Rich are doing for their spring musicals. For Evanston, it's going to be Footloose, and that'll be March 21st, 22nd, 23rd at 7 p.m. with a matinee on the 23rd at 2 p.m. And for Rich, it will be Mamma Mia, performed on what dates?
March 14th through the 16th.
Awesome. So get out and support those kids. We've seen a lot of support for the athletes, so encourage you to go out and support those kids as well, because they are just as talented, they work just as hard, and deserve just as much credit, for sure.
100%.
100%. Absolutely.
All right, we're going to go ahead and step aside. When we come back, we're going to talk about a unique story that you can only find at Rich High School. You're tuned in to the mylocalradio.com student section.
Life is better in the country. KNYN. Fort Bridger, Evanston, Woodruff. 99.1. The country you want to be in.
Hey there, I'm Jake Major, your local Medicare and insurance benefits advisor for the Bullock Agency of Wyoming. With over 25 years of experience protecting families in rural America, we understand the importance of having an affordable insurance coverage. Whether you're searching for extra coverage or looking to understand and switch your Medicare options, I can help you find a range of top-rated insurance companies and tailor-made packages based on your needs. Call me, Jake Major, today at 307-209-4685 and let's discuss your insurance options. We're the Bullock Agency of Wyoming, when benefits matter.
If you've never heard a mechanic say they truly care, then you've been at the wrong place. Stacy's Repair in Woodruff is a family-owned and operated business open since 1992. Offering all types of maintenance and repair services, you can be sure your vehicle is operating at its best. Whether your vehicle is older or the newest model, gas or diesel, we fix and maintain them all. Also offering chip repair, windshield replacement, and tires. When your vehicle needs a mechanic, bring it to the ones who truly care. Stacy's Repair in Woodruff.
Founded in 1938 with the hopes and dreams of serving the Bridger Valley, Benedict's Trading Company was started. Now, 85 years and 3 generations later, Benedict's Market is still serving the Bridger Valley by offering the highest quality meats and fresh produce to having fresh baked items and hot deli options. Benedict's Market is your one-stop for all of your grocery needs. Benedict's Market offers the best services in a modern setting to make your shopping both quick and easy. Visit them today at 950 North Highway 414, Mountain View, Wyoming.
Well, welcome back to the My Local Radio Sports Network student section. I'm Aaron Poling, Anthony Colasuno, and Elan Olive joining me inside the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast studio. We also want to thank a couple more of our sponsors, the station on Main, as well as T7 Propane. Without you guys, none of this is possible. As Elan mentioned before we went to break, that we have a little bit of an interesting story here from Rich High School. It is about the band. And, you know, when you think of a high school band, what do you guys think? You think orchestra style, correct?
Marching band,
Yes.
yeah.
Yep.
So, unfortunately, at Rich High School, due to numbers, well, I don't want to say unfortunately, because I think this is really cool what the
I do
students
too.
get to do instead.
Same,
So they don't have a band in that sense of an orchestra type band. Instead, it's a rock band. So every single home game, these kids are out there rocking out. You know, we have them actually on recording with All-American Rejects, Dirty Little Secret, but there's been other songs. Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, Face Down, they play that one. That's one of my favorites. A couple more of the songs. They also do the SpongeBob intro. I think that's a Boston Jolly favorite as he gets to, you know, mimic the pirate at the beginning of the show. And it's just a really cool thing they get to do when, you know, it's making the most out of not having enough students to have a band. But, you know, these kids, Bella Wheeler, I call her Slash Wheeler because she shreds on the guitar. She's really good. And just all of these kids get to show their talents in different ways. And instead of an orchestra band, it's a rock band. And I think that's awesome.
I think it is too. I mean, it adds as I mentioned in the outro going into break, this is something I've only found at Rich. And I think it's awesome because, I mean, you go to some places and you have the combination of like the DJ and the band, and it kind of blends together really, really well. But when you have a band like what Rich has, you can play like the stuff that the DJ would play, except it would have a live feeling. And there's just something about live music when you hear it that you can't replace it.
Oh, yeah, it's just so easy to tap your foot along to it. I'm shocked that they haven't caught me live during one of the Rebels basketball games coming back from break singing along to a song that, you know, that they're playing, because there's some really good songs. Like I said, Face Down by Red Jumpsuit Apparatus is one of my favorite songs of all times, and every time that one comes on, I can't help but sing along.
You know they're going to, like, next time they play it, they're going to be looking specifically for you now, since you got that out in public.
Yeah, they could be, but well, it'll be a lot harder to find me at the state tournament. We don't have any more home games this year, so timing is everything in life, right, Anthony?
Timing is definitely everything, but just a cool little thing that Rich does, because growing up, it's been orchestra style bands or marching bands, and my high school didn't really have that, you know, special rock band or some sort of band that does those type of numbers. And that's so cool at Rich, because these are songs that people know and love.
Well,
so during halftime, you can just be jamming out to those songs.
I mean, well, it's not just taking lemons and making it into lemonade. It's taking lemons and making it into frozen lemonade. I mean, it's taking something that you could look at as a disadvantage and turning it into something that not only does it bring a unique aspect to your game day experience, it brings something to your school that is just so cool, quite frankly. I mean, I love when I go to Rich, I love watching that band, and it's so much fun to just kind of like, they add so much to the environment that I don't think, I mean, it's such a unique environment because of partially what they're able to do.
Yeah, imagine being an opposing team and your layup line as you're warming up, and you got a band, a full-blown band right next to you as you're going in for your first layup. It's just such a cool atmosphere that they're able to make over in Rich County. One thing that I've noticed about out here is the atmospheres are always great when it comes to high school sports. I have not been in very many atmospheres where, you know, everyone gets up for the game, and it's so much fun, and that's what makes sports fun out here, especially when you can, you know, tie it in with some of the band members.
What makes some sports venues so iconic? It's the atmosphere. I mean, Boston Garden, completely different atmosphere. The Joe, back when it was going on, a completely different atmosphere. Yankee Stadium, it's unique atmospheres. And all these schools, I would say, definitely Mountain View and Lyman, definitely Rich, and definitely Evanston have those unique atmospheres because of something that they have. I mean, for Evanston, it's the combination of Kevin Callis and the band in the student section. For Mountain View, I mean, that dome is just like it is Boston Garden-esque. Like it's just so cool to go do stuff at that place. Lyman, just everybody comes out for the games, and then Rich, we talk about the band and just it's just. We're really blessed to kind of have that in our own, have these world-class environments in our own backyard.
Absolutely, and it's part of what makes our job so much fun is just going to these atmospheres. But first, before we get into the performance, let's shout out those band members in Elizabeth Woods, Jasmine Ennis, Jasmine Erickson, Dom Anderson, Boston Jolly, Austin England, Katharina Smith, Ethan Earl, Alex Coonrod, Hillary Rex, Draven Marshall, and Bella Wheeler are your Rich Rebel band. Shall we get to that performance right now?
Yeah, let's go and play it.
And that is the Rich High School Band with Dirty Little Secret by the All-American Rejects. And, you know, as much as it is as fun as them listening to them play, man, they pick some good songs, too.
They really do. I was just thinking, like, that's a deep one, actually, for a lot of people. I mean, All-American Rejects, period, I think is kind of definitely a very millennial band that a lot of millennials kind of can remember. And I specifically remember the first time that I heard that song when that song came out. And it's kind of a bit of a trip down memory lane. But, yeah, they pick some awesome songs to play at the games.
Yeah, they're not beholden to one one era either. They'll go from this era to all the way back to, I think they were playing Don't Fear the Reaper by Blue Oyster Cult the other day.
If you're a rock band, you have to know that one.
Yeah, I love that song. So
it's such a great one.
Yeah, just great songs, and also just, you know, them playing songs from different eras as well.
You might have given yourself away. We had a little bit of a peek behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Anthony is definitely the youngest of us, too.
Yes.
And me and Aaron we're not close in age, but we're close enough that we can relate with music. I think Anthony's just
I know Dirty Little
I have
Secret,
no
though.
idea what you're doing.
Yeah.
Anthony's like, this isn't early 2000s hip-hop. I don't know this.
But yeah, no, you're right. They can go to the classic rock. They can go to the early 2000s rock. Yeah. They can go. I've even heard them play like 2010 type stuff. Like they're very, very good. And, I mean, shout out to their director. I mean, their director has a very unique job because he's got to put together a rock band, but also make it sound good. I mean, I've never played in a band before, but I would imagine having new kids come in every year or something like that, it takes a while for that to kind of become that gel process where they sound cohesive and they sound good. I mean, that was a very good performance for what that is. That's a high school band, and it sounds awesome.
Yeah, Chris Woods does a tremendous job with these kids, and I think the most important thing, man, it seems like these kids love going in after school and just rocking out. Like, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it because I got to imagine, like, for those kids, like, that's a ton of fun. Like, going in. Obviously, you have to practice, and there is some things you have to do in practice. But when you get to that performance, like, I haven't confirmed it yet, but I think last year the band went down to the state tournament. I think they will again this year. And,
they should.
You know, if you're from Rich County, another reason to go down to the Sevier Valley Center, not this weekend, but the next weekend, not only to cheer on the basketball team, check out the cheer team that'll be there, check out the band that's going to be there, and, you know, they're going to play at the Sevier Valley Center, and just check out all of these things that Rich High School does to really make their atmospheres unique, and it's so much fun, and I'm so thankful to be a part of it.
Absolutely. that's going to do it for this week's edition of the student section. A big thank you to all of our guests. We have Jake Heiser, McKenna Wyatt, and of course the Rich High School Band for coming on the show today. Next week, we got a great show for you. We're going to be talking a little bit more about those productions that are coming out. Hopefully, we'll have Miss Erin Russell on to kind of give us a sneak peek at what we can expect from those productions. And a special guest coming in. There is a group of young men at Evanston High School under the band name Behold Here's Poison. They're a metal band. They've got a show at the Strand Theater on March 2nd, and we're going to have them in the studio for an interview as well as part of the student section. Cannot wait to talk with those guys. They're the real deal, let me tell you. So that is going to do it for this week's edition of the student section. Big thank you to my co-hosts. We have
Anthony Colasuno
and
Aaron Poling.
I'm Elan Olive. We will see you guys tomorrow for Home Field Advantage, the weekend preview. Big games coming up. Join us tomorrow.